definitely really physical too. And they're a really good team, and they're really good defensively, and we battled, and I thought we played really great defense.
Act 1. The new enforcers of Indiana Catch-A-Dime family, listen to me very closely.
I mean, I think like following the game, it's so disappointing to lose, and most seasons end on a loss.
The days of opposing teams thinking they can just walk onto the hardwood, throw cheap shots, use bully ball tactics, and physically intimidate the Indiana Fever with absolutely zero consequences are officially over.
The person that you see in an interview, the person you see on stage is the person you're going to get. I'm not putting on a face for anybody.
If you thought this young roster was just going to fold under pressure, take hits on the chin and look to the officials to save them. Caitlin Clark and Lexi Hull just sent a thunderous warning shot to the entire WNBA layout. Not on our watch. We are breaking down a massive, culture-defining shift in the internal chemistry of this basketball team. For the last year, every single defensive coordinator in the league had the exact same strategic asset notation in their playbook.
I'm super excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just going to go out there, have fun. I know my teammates will be there supporting.
Get physical with Caitlin, push the wing players off their lines, and see if they have the structural toughness to fight back. But during this high-intensity battle, when Sophie Cunningham went down hard after an incredibly physical play, the reaction from number 22 and Lexi Hull proved that Indiana has officially built a ride-or-die locker room environment. To all the true members of the Catch-A-Dime family who want the raw, unfiltered truth behind the film layout, the ones who know that championship identity isn't just about hitting logo threes, but about having the absolute grit to protect your teammates on the floor, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell right now. We track the true competitive pulse of this league every single day.
And have meetings about me being too competitive in PE class. So.
Tap that bell so you never miss an execution breakdown. Look at the raw data of how this team is responding to adversity under head coach Stephanie Wyatt. We aren't just looking at a basketball game anymore. We are watching the birth of an absolute enforcer culture. When you have your franchise superstar and your primary perimeter defender instantly willing to risk technical fouls and ejections to stand up for their squad, that tells you the competitive dynamic of the entire league has fundamentally changed. Act 2, the flashpoint breakdown and the eye poke. Let's go directly to the tape to see how this entire chaotic sequence escalated, because the mainstream media is completely misreading the timeline.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we played with good pace. I thought we took good shots. I don't think we fouled as much in the first quarter as we did.
This wasn't just a random emotional outburst. This was a calculated response to unchecked aggression on the floor. Midway through the third quarter, J.C. Sheldon plays an overly aggressive defensive line and ends up poking Caitlin Clark directly in the eye. As Caitlin is recovering, trying to process the contact, look at what happens next on this asset right here. Marina Maybray comes flying in out of nowhere and body checks Caitlin straight down to the hardwood. The officials completely lost control of the floor safety parameters in this exact second. But look at the immediate reaction from the Fever layout. Lexi Hull does not hesitate for a single frame. She doesn't wait for a whistle. She doesn't look at the bench. She steps directly into Maybray's space.
One piece of advice I would give to my younger self is to have fun as long as you can, because the older that you get, the more and more that it becomes a job.
Establishing an absolute wall to defend her point guard. This is where the tactical chemistry pays massive dividends. In previous iterations of this roster, an incident like that would completely derail the team's focus. Instead, it lit an absolute fire under Sophie Cunningham.
In the span of someone's whole career, yet alone one season. And so for us, I think we're all pretty exhausted, to be honest.
Later in the game, with the tension boiling over, Sophie stands completely on business. On a breakaway transition play, Cunningham tracks down the action and delivers an incredibly hard, retaliatory flagrant 2 foul that sent a clear message. If you touch our superstar, the response is going to be twice as heavy. It led to a massive bench-clearing altercation, multiple ejections, and standard league fines. But the psychological statement was already made. Act 3, standing on business and the post-game fallout. The fallout from this physical melee shows exactly why opposing teams are starting to get deeply terrified of Indiana's new identity. They tried to break the Fever's spirit, but all they did was unlock their execution matrix. Let's listen directly to how the team and the coaching staff reacted to the league's escalating physical blueprint against them.
The hungrier team. I thought that they played with a relentless, effort, a relentless.
Look, it was pretty obvious to everyone in the building that stuff was brewing all night long. When the officials don't get control of the ball game early, this is exactly what happens. Everything in our league is getting better, except the officiating. And it's putting player safety at risk. I'm proud of our group for not backing down, for standing up for one another, and for showing that we aren't going to be pushed around by anyone. We are going to protect our own, period. That is a championship coach standing up for her squad. If you love seeing a front office and a locker room that refuses to take steps backward, make sure you have smashed that subscribe button right now. Look at how the opposing side tried to frame this. The opposing head coach came out and called Sophie Cunningham's retaliatory action completely stupid and disrespectful because Indiana was already winning the game comfortably. But that completely misses the macro perspective of what Stephanie White is building here. This isn't about the score of a single game. This is about setting a permanent standard for the rest of the 2026 season loop. If you give a free hit to a player wearing an Indiana jersey, you are going to get an immediate receipt from the entire floor layout. Act 4, the tactical multiplier of toughness. Now, let's look at the actual basketball analytics, because this structural toughness isn't just for show. It is operating as a massive tactical multiplier on the stat sheet. When Lexi Hull and Caitlin Clark brought that elite edge back onto the hardwood after the scrum, it completely altered the momentum of the entire game. Look at how this energy feeds directly into Indiana's transition engine. When Lexi Hull plays with that absolute defensive chip on her shoulder, she isn't just contesting shots. She is blowing up passing lanes, diving for loose balls, and creating immediate deflections. That defensive disruption allows Caitlin Clark to pick up the asset in secondary transition and push the pace before the opposing defense can establish their half-court trap structure. The Fever went on an immediate crushing scoring run right after the ejections took place. Caitlin started hunting her shot with absolute intent, pulling up from deep range and letting the opposing bench hear all about it. When you combine elite floor spacing, superstar gravity, and a highly efficient transition game with a genuine physical nastiness, you become an absolute nightmare to eliminate in a playoff sequence. The league thought they could slow down Caitlin Clark by making the game ugly. Instead, they just taught the Indiana Fever how to win ugly. Conclusion: the ultimate verdict. Here is the ultimate catch-a-dime verdict on the entire WNBA landscape right now. The blueprint to stop the Indiana Fever is officially dead and buried. You cannot intimidate a team that responds to an eye poke with a full-court defensive takeover. Caitlin Clark is hitting her stride, Lexi Hull is anchoring the perimeter with an elite defensive edge, and Sophie Cunningham has shown the entire world that she is fully prepared to stand on absolute business to protect this franchise. This team has officially found its soul, and the rest of the league is on notice. Once this chemistry fully solidifies across the 2026 regular season layout, there isn't a single front office that will want to see this group in a postseason series. Now, I need to hear from the real tactical minds in our Catch-A-Dime family right now. Did Sophie Cunningham do the right thing by sending that clear message to the opposition, or do you think the team needs to be careful with league fines and ejections moving forward? Drop me in the comments right now if you're riding with Caitlin, Lexi, and Sophie all the way to the playoffs. Smash that like button to feed the algorithm, and make sure you are completely subscribed with that notification bell completely activated so you never miss a single minute of the realest film room breakdowns in basketball. Catch a Dime 100, out.